morning once again. 24 minutes going up to 11. And it's known as a calendar event in the business, finance, and capital markets industry here in Jamaica. It's the 20th edition of the Jamaica Stock Exchange's Regional Investments and Capital Markets Conference. 20 years already. Yeah, I remember the first one. Yeah, and this year it's being held under the theme Safeguarding the Capital Markets, People, Opportunities, and Progress. Yeah, and as usual, the conference offers participants from Jamaica and abroad an opportunity to experience new thinking trends, emerging trends in investments, regional investments, and capital markets here in Kingston. And it's here again. And it is my pleasure to speak with the chairman and CEO of Blue Mahoe Capital Partners. It has an interesting story and an even more interesting vision, mandate. Blue Mahoe Capital Partners, CEO and Chairman David Mullings. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes. Thank you for having me again.
Welcome, sir. Welcome home.
Always happy to be home.
Right. So Blue Mahoe, yes?
Yes.
Your principal mandate is?
So we consider ourselves an impact investing firm.
Impact
investing. And what that means is that every dollar that we deploy into a country has to have a positive impact in that country, in that region. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what we focus on. So we can invest in 4 areas. We look at real estate, private credit, lending out money, private equity, invested in private companies, helping them to scale, and then public equities. We invest in companies listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Mm-hmm. So those are the 4 legs of the table. And then we primarily focus, for now, on people of Caribbean heritage in the United States. We want to list on the NASDAQ, then become the first listed vehicle outside the Caribbean, giving investors access to the region, starting with Barbados, Bahamas, Guyana, and Jamaica, or 4 Caribbean tigers, as we call them. So it's unlocking diaspora direct investment, not just foreign direct investment. Right? We, the diaspora, are more patient. We know our home countries. We want to invest back home, but is it a vehicle we can trust? Is it something that's regulated? Mm-hmm. Is it something that is transparent? Right? What are you doing with money? Mm-hmm. How do I get my money back? So being liquid, we think, is really important. And being listed on the NASDAQ would allow people from outside the US to also invest. So it could be a Jamaican in the UK. It could be a Bayesian in Canada. Let's open the doors and bring capital down here in a way that's more patient and focus on what Richard Branson would call the 3 Ps: people, planet, and profit. We need to invest in a way that benefits people, all the people, not just the 1%, not just the wealthy. We need to invest in a way that benefits the planet. We need to be careful. There's one planet we have. I'm one of those people that believes that we have responsibility. And then lastly, we need to actually generate profit, though. We are not a non-profit.
Exactly. It's not charity.
It's not charity. The charity is separate. We make profit. We create a charity, the Blue Mahoe Charitable Foundation, that can then do the charitable things. But it takes cash to care, as we've always heard. And you only have 2 options. If you want to do the charity side, you can either beg somebody for the money or make the money yourself. Mm-hmm. I would rather make the money ourselves.
Right. So where are you on the journey towards listing on the NASDAQ?
I love that. So as of today, we have a ticker symbol reserved for the NASDAQ. I cannot reveal it until we file the next set of paperwork with SEC and FINRA. Those are the regulators in the US. We have engaged an investment bank since last August that is helping us with that. This is for a $10 million underwritten offering to list on the NASDAQ. And we have already gotten qualification from the SEC last May to raise up to $5 million from regular people in the US, so what we call retail investors, the 99%. And we can advertise, we can generate solicit is what they call. So we can run ads on Facebook, Instagram, and of course that made us the first US-based company to ever get that qualification to raise in the U.S. and invest back in the Caribbean. So we're very far along, and we need to get to a certain number of shareholders. We expect to hit that number on February 12th. And so, based on where we are going and how we're tracking, we're really excited. And then, of course, the first project, that's what matters. You're only as good as your last deal, is what I was taught in private equity. So we started with a simple project. We partnered with some people who are doing one-bedroom houses in Old Harbour. This is an impact investment. These houses, phase one, 200 houses in the $8 million range. One-bedroom, true starter homes, and a lot that they can scale up. We've had 258 people apply for the first 200. So we're sending off some capital. We already signed the paperwork. Now we're clearing the land. We're pretty excited. We had an investor trip last week. Some investors from New York, Miami, West Palm came down. Toured the place to the one-bedroom model unit. See it now. Oh, this is bigger than I was expected. Show them this is a cement mixing plant on site. Here's a water station. And one of them pulled me aside, Cliff, and I have to tell her. I told her I was going to bring this up on radio. She said, David, I'll be honest. She's from JP Morgan. She said, if this is a scam, it's the worst scam ever, because you're taking our money and you're actually building houses. I said, please go and tell everybody in New York exactly what you just told me.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. We're looking for other partners, though, who have land or have ideas. Yes, affordable housing is one thing. We think there's an opportunity. You have talked to me about these kinds of things and said, hey, what about the diaspora wanting to returning residents have a certain lifestyle they expect. There's a Jamaica they want to return to that may not necessarily exist. More the country life, slower, warmer apple and thing. Really, it's mangoes they want growing in the backyard, let's be honest. Whether it's Julia or East Indian, those are usually the two most people want. But that's what they want. They want more of that slower rural life over 55. In Florida, you have Century Village. We think there's a massive opportunity for that. Obviously, people have concerns around security, but those areas are safer. So we're looking for partners for that. We're also investing in companies here in Jamaica that we think can export. Right? This has to be an export-led economy. And it's not just physical goods. We can export services. So we're excited about some deals that we're negotiating right now. We're in due diligence. We're looking to actually acquire some businesses already here in Jamaica as well, directly, and help them to scale and open new markets. And then investing in our culture. Steve Wilson, Sean Paul's manager, is one of our key investors, and he always says our culture is our biggest export.
Yes.
But we don't monetize it well enough and have the money stay back with us. So you look at what reggaeton has done, we look at Afro beats, we look at media. I believe there's a way that we can also play a role invested in that. I shouldn't just be investing in banks and investing in real estate. There's other stuff that we can invest in. So we're excited to announce some deals. And for us, the biggest thing now is that we were looking to raise money for equity. We sell a share of the business somebody bought in. Unfortunately, the majority of the people we met in the diaspora have never bought shares in their entire life. Right? This is not something most of us grew up talking about. Right? You think in Jamaica we had 300,000+ people added to the market for the junior market, bought into Trans-Jamaica Highway and these things. They're not doing that in the US though. They save it. They put the money in the bank and tuck it away. So they've asked us, number one, how do you make money when you buy shares? So now we have to do this financial literacy component, which is good, but that's extra work. The next question everybody asks, so how much I get per year? I said, well, that's called dividends. I can't guarantee a number. If you want a guaranteed number, we need to do a bond. Enough people have come to us that we have now decided to launch a bond. So we will launch a bond targeted at the diaspora next week. And we're going to call it a diaspora bond. First focus on Jamaica. It's 10% a year, paid semi-annually, 10% return per year, paid every 6 months, and a 5-year bond. We did a test run with some firms. So I'll give you an example. Super example. So we had lent money to a firm here in Jamaica that's in the microfinance space. So if you go to borrow money as a small business or as a personal loan, you're not paying 10%, you're not paying 12%, you're not paying 15%. We're paying some big numbers.
Much more.
So we lent them money. We borrowed at 10 and lent them at 12. And they paid us consistently every single month. And we were able to pay out to our investors every 3 months. And we did that for 2.5 years. So we got to test it. Right? Our job is not to make a ton of money on the spread. It was to bring lower cost capital to businesses in the Caribbean, started in Jamaica. So we felt comfortable being able to pay 10. We lent money to a second company as a test. So this is MapEx, Machinery and Parts Exports. It's one of the largest exporters of farming and heavy equipment into the Caribbean, Jamaica in particular, represent Case IH. And we said, hey, there's an opportunity to support farming. What would you do? Should we be investing in agro-processing? Right. I want to talk to the experts. Where should we invest? Jamaica is importing 1.6 billion US dollars worth of food every year. What can we do? And he said, honestly, the first thing you can do is not go and get land and build up vertical farming or scale up the farming. What you need to do is allow farmers to mechanize. You as a farmer, I used to work at Jamaica National and design these investment products and savings products, right? You as a farmer want to get a loan from the bank to buy a tractor or a harvester. They will not give you that loan. They'll give you a loan for the pickup truck to deliver the goods to the market. That make the money. They will deliver a loan for you to buy your Audi to go and drive afterwards. The farming is what paid for that though. But they won't give you the thing that creates the produce. It sounds crazy, but they know how to repossess your pickup truck or your car and get back their money and sell it. They don't know how to repossess the tractor and sell it. So specialized equipment financing is a lot harder to come by. So we lent them some money that they could then pass on for specialized financing. Okay. So MapEx can then go to some of the farmers and say, hey, 20% deposit, finance the rest of it from us. And now we're helping farmers get access to this kind of equipment. In fact, they want to also have an option where you can lease the equipment just for the harvesting period or just for the planting period. So we now can scale it up and lend to them, and we earn better than 10%. Yeah. So I don't mind taking capital at 10% from investors, lending to these companies in those mid-teens, and they can pass it on, and it directly helps farming, for example. So that's how we can pay the 10%.
How can people reach you at Blue Mahoe? BlueMahoeCapital.com is the easiest way to find us. And we have a second website, islandforward.com. We want to move the Caribbean forward, so islandforward.com has the offering statement from the SEC, has the video tour of the property so you can see what we're doing in the first one. Here's the first affordable housing project we're doing. And then go from there, because it's important people see, feel, and be able to touch what we're doing. We've had too many incidents, both locally and abroad, where people have put money into Jamaica to invest. Even through family members, I'm trying to build a house and then come down an MC2 block and say, but where the rest of the money gone? Yeah. Right, so we are very aware of how people worry about where the money going. Can they trust this person? And that's why we went through the headache of paying all of these lawyers over these years to get us qualified by the SEC. We have to report publicly. Thank you very much. David P.A. Mullings. He's chairman and CEO of Blue Mahoe Capital Partners. Thank you, David. All the best.
Thank you.
Good. Let's go to the break.